Yeah, it's not it. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, only if the discussion gets interesting. So,
Yeah, well, we'll stop that. Anyway, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very interesting little live stream we have here. And introduce yourselves because we are doing something interesting. We're breaking off from the CCS podcast, ladies and gentlemen. The things that we are usually and everything else, the things that we usually have all these other things. So we used to do stuff like the people are like, why are you doing this? Why are you breaking out from the CCS podcast? Well, we had nothing else better to do. So we're going to be talking about some topics that won't be, buzz when Cinemax does his, his alarm thing. So, and this will probably trigger some people and probably get kicked off on YouTube, but who cares? Anyway, our topic here is the gender and diversity in Hollywood, and this is something going to be really interesting to talk about. But first, let's get some people who let's find out who we're going to be talking to. So, introduce yourselves.
all right, let me introduce myself first. Hello, everyone. My name is Mr. K, aka Niram Cosma, and I'm a former member at the CCS podcast. Non-official member, just still a former member. And I'm here with Decay, Kana Drake, and the Tundra to discuss about the topic that I actually wanted to discuss for a long, long time. And while it might be similar to what happened with the CCS CJW trilogy, because to be fair, these are similar issues but on different sides. Find out if this issue is really that big of a deal.
Mm. Well, that's anyone else. I don't want to continue talking, so I'm sorry.
Well, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm V Tundra. I'm a member of the CCS forums, and I only came here because I think this is a real problem that should be talked about. In my opinion, it's pretty obvious, and if we can get a couple of folks out there to get a better perspective, then I'll do.
Alrighty. Hmm. Okay, we have Kuna Drake, who's muted. Um,
I'm going to mute myself now. Hi, I'm Kuna Drake. I'm a member of the CCS Patreon, and I'm a member of the forums as well. So I'm kind of interested in this discussion because I really think as a perspective from a creator that I kind of get where people are coming from, but I think there's a lot of mixed messages and some incorrect facts on this whole diversity and gender issues in Hollywood.
oh yeah. And also, I am also Duke CT already set up. Also, not only person of the CCS forums, I also am a creator. If you haven't noticed, the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, who I do many things. Podcasting about video games, pro wrestling, and the like, and do a little video review show. That is going to have a new episode soon, hopefully. Talking about pro wrestling and video games as well. So, and other things that I have some other plans about that. But we're concerned with that stuff anyway. But get to this point of gender diversity in Hollywood. I'm going to say this. It's something that has been a problem for quite a while, since honestly Hollywood has began. I mean, when you look at
The golden age, right?
yeah, the golden age, and even stuff beyond that, like before Hollywood, like vaudeville and all these other places and such, when when the film was getting started and everything. And the reason why that is, well, it's because, well, they didn't think they also didn't think people of color or people of like different diversities, the only type of roles they could get were probably the net and part of my hopefully I won't trigger anyone, but screw it. The mammy role, the black maid and such, and pretty much the tap dancing, the tap dancing guy who just tries to impress the white masters and everything else. you never really saw most of that type of really like seeing black people in very positive role models and such. And you didn't see anything in the Latino community as well. You didn't see much of that or any really good strong female protagonists as well. It was something that really did not catch a hold from. And a lot, it was something that in the communities and such in Hollywood has been always been an issue with. It's gotten better, yes, but I honestly think that the way Hollywood's going now, with the way the independent streak is going, which I I love because it basically does that. That means I don't need it. Validates says like, you know what? I don't need Hollywood. I don't need Hollywood to be to validate my film how great it is. You know what I mean? I don't need Hollywood,
Yeah.
and that to me is the best. They're the best thing out there because again, it's there's so much avenues, so much chances to really grow as a just as a person and film, going to avenues that I will probably never go to if I was just stuck in the Hollywood system or anything else. And when I see people like, oh, Oscars so white, when I'm like, personally, why should I look at this as this form? Like, why do we have to go beg and borrow to go for Oscar instead of making something of our own? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Why do we have to continue trying to get validation? You know, the validation will come. We're not going to get validation. I see it as we're going to get validation, fine, whatever. That's a nice little award trophy. But to me, true validation is to look and saying, hey, we built this on our own. We didn't need, the white guy. No offense to all the white people here are watching or anything else, but hope y'all can vibe with this. But you know what? We don't need all this stuff. We have our own awards, we have our own system, we have our own things, and we don't need this continuous validation of saying we're worth it and such. We don't need that. And that to me is, one things I wish that majority of people with minorities and such could get in Hollywood. Like, this whole validation thing, which that's why I just like, we don't need Hollywood to validate how great we are. That's my thing out there. But then again, I'm ranting, so jump in if you need to.
All right. Well, to be fair, this is very a complicated issue because one of the problems with diversity and all of that such is that, well, I'm not the biggest expert in Hollywood because I never worked at Hollywood, but I noticed that the way they treat with the whole Asians, blacks, it's kind of a big deal issue because the Hollywood system and the people that work on it don't really allow for much, diversion. Like they don't allow actors, regardless game, to experiment with direction, acting, producing, doing editing and stuff. And I fear that if they go in this trend of, hey, let's just hire this Asian person, black person, because, diversity, then you're not really helping the issue. You're just making it worse. For example, I like to bring up is, if I remember correctly, I've been following the news of the Black Panther film, which I do want to see. And apparently, there has been a lot of a talk where they're not having a only whole black crew can make the movie better. Like, it can give image like, oh, that only black people understand the comic book Black Panther, and I don't know, it just gives me weird feelings. Like, wait, so only black people can direct a Black Panther movie? What about the other writers, regardless of skin, that actually did a good job with the comics? I mean, like, if the skin of a person really defines the talent?
Well, that's again, it does sit to me as the the whole quota system, which is just a major problem.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that whole system is a problem too. And another thing that actually bothers me also as well is regarding with Western adaptations based on, anime properties. For example, the you know what controversy regarding Scarlett Johansson as the Major for the Ghost in the Shell movie, which has been in development hell for how many years? 20 years, am I right? Like, it was announced way back in the 90s, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been announced. It's been planned, been talked about. Same thing as so many movies that has never been anime movies that has never been, it's just been in development hell for like decades and more.
Yeah, like the Death Note movie, which is now going to be a Netflix one, and the sort of controversy of, oh my god, why watching? Even though people tend to forget that when it comes to Western adaptations based on Eastern, like Japanese properties, then yeah, as much as I wish for putting Japanese lead roles, there is one huge problem, and it's a huge social stigma that affects a lot of new actors and actresses. And it's this: if you don't have a major lead star, then guess what? Your movie won't sadly fail. And for the most part, that is kind of mostly true as to why they cast Scarlett Johansson for the role of the Major.
For the most part, she's hot right now. She is.
Yeah. She's hot, yeah, but to be fair, if you look closely, she kind of resembles the Major in the anime. Also, a little bit of the Ghost in the Shell Arise prequel OVA series, which from the look of the set photo with the blue dark hair, they might go with that look. So that is to why they chose her, because, she looks the part, and who knows, she may act the part.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is at the end of the day, how good is she in playing the role? But my thing is, I as much as I like Scarlett Johansson, in some places she just is wooden as all heck. And I understand the Major is stoic, but she's gonna be like, oh goodness. And some things you're like, well, you need some emotion. That's my thing. It's like, where's the emotion with Scarlett Johansson? But going to Kahuna, you have anything to say about this?
I think she's muted. Oh no.
Yeah, I have to mute just in case if there's any background noise. But I think for the Death Note, I think people need to kind of understand that this is a American adaptation of a Japanese property. So I think, from my understanding, the story takes place in America, has an American cast. So, and then the Japanese did a adaptation, live action, like years ago.
Death Note and Death Note 2, the last name, and L Changed the World, and a reboot coming in 2016. So yeah.
So my only question is, what's the problem if they come with the agreement of the creator to kind of adapt his property, his characters, his story into a different kind of cultural context so other people can kind of enjoy it and kind of expand the franchise out more?
Yeah, I see it's like a and not saying comparing them, so don't go all crazy, film snobs, whatever. But I'm thinking of, like, say, how the Seven Samurai was converted into the Magnificent Seven.
Exactly.
Back in that day. So, I see that type of way feeling out in that type of, like, hey, that could be something that a lot of people might look into.
It's not just like American culture either. I mean, there's adaptations. Like, I think in one of the Patreon streams we're talking about, they're going to have a Indian version of Game of Thrones. Was rumored to be in the works. So, and then there's like a Russian adaptation of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which is one of my favorite sitcoms I like to watch. And this kind of goes on. So it seems like when people always can take like an adaptation of a popular property and put it into a different cultural context with characters that people from that culture can relate to.
Yeah.
I think that the best example is with Sergio Leone's first film, Fistful of Dollars, which many people don't know, but it's actually a remake of a Japanese movie called Jojimbo. When I first saw it, I didn't think it was a remake, and I said, "Holy crap, this is pretty good." It's like the granddaddy of Western films. And I think that it's a prime example that you can take something from a different culture, mix it up a bit, and you can see that eventually people will like it. I mean, of course, there will be those that will say, no, they can't do it because it's from Japan. The story doesn't fit. Go watch Fistful of Dollars. It works.
It does. And honestly, if you want to talk about other stuff, you ever look at Korea like the good, bad, and the ugly? There's one and like it was the South Korean. It's like good, bad, and the weird. That's a really good one. Let's see.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. A friend of mine actually recommends me to watch it, and I still haven't watched it. Is it any good?
Oh, it's great. It's South Korean action, but really good. It just really is something. It's basically it was based on The Good, Bad, and the Ugly from Sergio Leone, directed by Kim Jong-un. I'm probably mispronouncing that, so I apologize. Seriously, it's actually really good. It's very good. Nice South Korean action film. It's really good stuff. And I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see. There's actually what else he's doing right now? Well, he's doing some seems like on some other stuff too. But seriously, the dude knows what he's doing. Kim Jong Un is a pretty good, crazy director. So seriously, this is a really good movie. You gotta check that out. And also got some people here in the thing. Um, Dark Sisumaru is in the chat. So hello. By the way, I'm just checking out. People are watching and hopefully they're entertained. Uh, yeah. Dark Sitsu is also I see that person was in the chat when I was doing my Super Mario RPG, which is still happening again this Friday. So hope you can be there. Also, she's like, they love Ghost in the Shell, and everything. Exactly. The Indian Game of Thrones won't be popular. The natives being shown as bloodthirsty warriors clans battling for land. Yeah, them SJWs will lose their shit, pretty much. And
Yeah.
she's like, well, she's actually excited for Storks, actually, the animated movie and everything. So I haven't watched that trailer yet, so I maybe get pumped for that. But yeah, another thing is gonna be when you talk about that's actually something else that Daksitsu should really bring up is people being offended by certain type of portrayals of gender and diversity. Like say for example, like say how pirates there were black pirates back in the day, like African pirates, and they were very bloody and violent. And if you show that like in a fictional or non-fictional type setting, how many people would that be upsetting? And that's probably the reason why some people directors won't touch it, because like we don't want to offend anyone, we don't want to do anything like that. I see someone in a negative light.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think I'm going to shake a lot of people with this, but another good example of that is the famous most racist Disney film ever, Song of the South.
Oh, I knew you were gonna bring that
Yeah,
up.
Uncle Remus was portrayed by James Baskett, and many people were angry at that movie because it portrayed as a black man being happy with being a slave, and many said, oh, just because of that fact, the movie is bad. He's a bad actor. And this is with the fact that James Baskett was the first male black performer to receive an Oscar. He won the Oscar because of Song of the South. So yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's that sort of thing. You have to. I mean, I just finished watching season like both the season 2 of Narcos. By the way, you should check that out. It's a really good series on Netflix. It's basically highly dramatized events of the escapades of Pablo Escobar in Colombia. And it was really, there was some really violent scenes, very graphic stuff, interesting stuff for base with a lot of Colombian people, the culture and everything else, and they were really respectful for the most part, showing that series on Netflix and the people behind the series. So once that to me is something that a lot of people will you calling social justice warriors or Puritans or what like, that's going to be something. They might miss out on something really good because of the issues and such like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
I
And
think,
also, yeah, sorry. Also, I want to bring something about Song of the South, and I actually watched a few clips of Song of the South, and To be honest, I didn't find any of it racist. I guess the setting could be argued that it could be racist because it was set in a plantation, but they didn't mention that, oh, the guy is just a slave and, it's portraying racism. He's just playing a character who finds happiness in a very bad environment, I guess. And despite its old controversies, it actually helped get some recognition for black actors. I mean, you do mention that the main lead, James, what's his name? James.
James
What?
Basket.
James Bosman. Yeah, he got an Oscar nomination. What does that tell you? Even if the movie is bad, at least it kind of helped get some recognition of black actors, which in these days it's really needed.
Yeah, and speaking of all the stuff that's going on, and I mean, you have the Birth of the Nation drama as well with
Yeah.
Danae
Oh,
Parker and seriously that. And let me tell you something. He took what my idea and most people's ideas close to heart, and that of they took the idea of like, hey, no one's gonna make this for me. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna go and talk to do you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna make this
Yeah,
thing
like do a
produced,
period
right,
movie.
direct, and everything else, and I'm gonna do it with my own hands. And then this story came out, which honestly I think he should have done better PR. He knew this was gonna come anyway. People were gonna be digging. I mean, personally, I'm like, they knew that this stuff is coming, so he should have had better PR. But yeah,
It does seem that way.
yeah, but this horrible incident that happened is a sexual assault and such when he was in college, does have a very negative light in the film, and and that's going to probably hurt more chances than people who are trying like saying anyone else out there. I mean, is this going to be basically how good a movie is, how great the movie is? This could be something really negative about this. This could really be like, man, I'm not going to watch it because I can't, I can't, like, oh, if you watch this movie, you're accepting like rape culture or anything else and all this type of thing, which is not, which is not true. And everything else, I look in the movie, it's talking about very violent, very violent and morally wrong time in our society, the time of slavery. And something like that, Nate Parker, and something like, hey, this man stood up against injustice and all these type of things. Nat Turner, by the way, he's talking about that. And not only talk about his story, about Nat Turner's story, I mean, it also taken the title away from one of the most racist films out there, the original Birth of a Nation, which is in the Library of Congress because of they did this thing in widescreen, so we have to present it as such and everything. It is, that's what it is and such. Please come in if anyone else wants me to stop. Just tell me to stop, by the way. It is when you but back to the point, when you have that type of like that gumption with Nate Parker had and everything else, you're like, man, I want this movie to succeed, but then the past came in, you're like, you're just like, you're wondering, should I go to this movie? Should I support him? Because there are lack of really good Oscar-winning movies and things like that, or award-winning movies, by like him writing, producing, and everything else. Because if you don't see it, what does that say? Because that's a ripple effect. What does that say to someone who's like and people like I talked to like Awesome Con, well the fall geek thing here in DC. They're like people my age and older and younger. They actually started comic books and have like TV series, all these things lined up, and talking to people. Like they talk to ABC and Fox, all these things up. And if no one goes to see Birth of a Nation, you think that hold on, wait a minute. I'm like, well, no one wanted to see it, so we might not go and watch the like this other black person who worked hard on it and be like, well, we might not dispute it, or it'll be much more of a harder path and such, regardless of how, people are like, say, oh, you're celebrating this, or you're just saying, well, no one wants to see, other than Tyler Perry movies and such. So that's the
Oh.
Yeah. Just like I said on the forums, I find it absolutely disgusting when someone criticizes a work of art for reasons that are not involved with the piece itself. There's a lot of stigma attached when it comes to these things. And an example that I gave on the forums, I really like the paintings that Adolf Hitler did before he was a dictator. I find them beautiful. And speaking of Adolf Hitler, one of my favorite movies is Downfall. Do you guys know about Downfall?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I never saw it, so sorry.
Yeah.
You've got to watch it. It's amazing. The character of Hitler really got to me. I mean, that sort of acting that makes you feel sorry for Hitler, that's really worthy for attention. And the movie does need more. But there's people who are refusing to watch it because of the simple fact that it's a sad perspective of Hitler's life. They think, oh no, these guys are Nazis. They want to make Nazis look good.
That's the same thing. What if you really want to be fair? That's the same thing that you said about Narcos. I mean, they put Pablo Escobar, a man who's did a lot of stuff. So you know what I mean, right? He did a lot of bad things in Colombia. And we got Luke V.
Oh,
Hey,
we got Luke.
Hey, Luke.
Woohoo!
I'm sorry.
Hey everyone.
It took a while, but we got another person here. So, oh man, yeah. But you understand what I'm saying, man. There was a lot of negative. There's a lot of negative. There was a lot of negative things that Pablo Escobar did, but they showed him, and I watched it. And again, I'm not saying that he's a good person, bad, but yeah, he was. He did some positive things in the community, and he seemed to be a decent family man, but he was still a monster. He still sold drugs and all the horrible aftermath of the drugs and such he did. And he basically was a terrorist. He killed people. He destroyed lives and family, blew up buildings and all this type of stuff. Held Colombia for ransom. Yeah, he did all those horrible things. But you can't just say life is not all black and white. That's the thing. There's always life has shades of gray. And that's yeah.
Sorry.
But
I
yeah.
think, I was going to say, I think from my perspective, like on the Birth of a Nation, I think it's important to kind of separate the work itself from the creator. Because the Horror Writers podcast did a good episode on that when they're talking about the stigma of horror and heavy metal and how, they get people like ask them like, oh, you must be a really disgusting person to kind of come up with these, morbid subject matters and topics. But it's like you kind of talk to them, it's like they're just normal people. They just kind of explore those kind of terrible things, but they're not terrible people themselves. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, again, I always look at the person's actions. And if someone, does horrible and terrible things, well, they are horrible people. I mean, again, the actions is, people don't want to look and say this person. They build them up. It's funny, it is. It's the last line in Narco. I'm not spoiling it. But then again, Pablo Escobar did die in the 90s. Is that technically a spoiler if I say that?
No, because it's kind of a well-known fact that, he actually died in a series. And if anyone with history of Pablo Escobar, I don't have a lot of history of Pablo Escobar, but my father actually has a lot of Escobar because he's seen this in Cuba. He does have a lot of memories about the bastard. So yeah, everyone knows about the story of Escobar, but as long as the story is interesting and gives an interesting take, I really don't mind it. For example, I remember there was a movie with Benicio del Toro and Josh Hutcherson called Escobar Paradise Lost. Did anyone watch it?
No.
No.
Yeah. So basically, it was a limited release movie based on the life of Escobar, but instead about this guy who dates Escobar's daughter, and basically things spiral out of control. That's all I can hear because the only thing I knew about this is because I saw the trailer, and to be fair, I kind of wasn't interested because it actually looked very, very corny. Yet it actually caused a lot of controversy due to people that wait a minute, there was no, this guy didn't date his daughter. This is all fake. Even though people have to realize when adapting movies based on history, of course it's gonna be fake. It's just telling a story based on a historical fact. Just like with Amadeus, yeah, the story's fake, but if you analyze the movie closely, it stays faithful and respectful to the history of Amadeus and his influence on musicals. Music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
there's this Mexican movie that came a couple of years ago called El Infierno, Hell. It's about the
Yeah.
cartels, and it's a very graphic movie. And what really frightens me, and I think frightens a lot of people in this country, is how realistic it is. What you see in the movie is what's going on right now. It may be
yeah,
shocking, but you gotta admire when a movie gets that has that attention to detail. I don't see how anyone could. Well, yeah, I can see how someone can be angry at something like that, but you gotta show some respect.
yeah, and that's you have to look at these issues, and you have to look at these are the issues about when you have these real life situations. You can't sugarcoat it. You can't put a red X on someone's like, oh, they're just knocked out, or say, oh, they're in the shadow realm. No, they're you know
Oh yeah.
they're dead. And
That one happens to the movie of Mother Teresa, and wow, it got so much panning from the critics and audiences that hated the depiction of Mother Teresa in that movie. They actually took it out in a few days. I only watched a commercial on TV, and that's it. It was gone. I was like, "Whoa, what the hell happened?"
Yeah. But back to the point of the quote, he
Yeah.
says, "You build up these men as the devil, like they're evil and everything else. But when you look in the eyes, you see them close. They're people. They're not Satan. They're not evil. They're not all these other things. That's the one thing we do, and we do, as as humans. We always like oh my gosh, this person's evil. This person's like, they're built up to these monsters. They're built up to be these Machiavellian evil people. But you can't. You have to look and say, you know what? They're not these Machiavellian people. They're not villains. They're not. They're not these like, oh my gosh, they're not,
They're not
doomsday.
terrorists.
Yeah, but they're human. That's the scary thing, ladies and gentlemen. And that's something a lot of people don't want to talk about. That's a lot of people that don't want to get into because again, once you realize they're human, that's a place that that most people don't want to wake up and see that. That's what that's how I look at it. But back to the point of gender diversity and gender diversity in Hollywood. Oh man. Here's something interesting. Let's see. When you look at the people in the superhero genre right now, a lot of them have been pissed off of since superhero movies are the big thing right now.
Yeah, the big trend.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll continue to be in a few years, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of
Phase 4,
people.
everybody.
Yes. DC and Marvel, and I know that we have another thing planned about Batman v Superman and such.
Yeah, the contrary.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, here's the thing about that. We're talking about like say Wonder Woman and all these other type of diversity and everything else. This big thing about all this diversity. Now there seems like there's been a rush because of Black Panther, and you have like Captain Marvel, who's Canada. They're like, where are they? And a lot of people are frustrated about this. And DC seems to be putting them in the punch with Wonder Woman not only starring a very well-known female superhero, but also have a female director. And do you think that's going to be a positive or negative? Since some people saying that, what it's like some people say, well, they won't be able to draw money, which is not true or whatever, and such. But that's some people's argument and such about that's my first question. Do you think Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel or or say, Black Panther, is that going to draw? Are they going to draw the same type of money? Like, say, a Batman v Superman. How much you thinking is they do? Or Captain America, Civil War, or Avengers, and stuff like that. Do y'all think can they draw that much of that type of be like, oh my gosh, it's like right up there to be the #1 box office bit like they make so much money? Is it possible for those movies?
Yeah, I think it is possible because here's the thing. While a lot of people are gonna say that, wow, Black Panther is gonna be so amazing, it's gonna be the first ever black superhero movie. When people forget that in the 90s, we actually had black superhero movies. Okay, not all when versus X-Men. I mean, Shaq fucking sucked ass, and his box office so bad.
I was about to say.
Yeah, Shaq, with Shaquille O'Neal.
Jesus.
Sorry. Yeah, and people forget that Blade, which actually was the first superhero movie who had a black lead, was actually successful and actually made $600 million at the box office, and its 2 sequels made more money. So of course it's gonna win, and also because Marvel is well known now. They have more exposure. They have a larger fan base. If Black Panther was released as in the 80s and 90s, would it work? Depends, because again, what I know about this is that stigmas regarding female actresses, black actors, Asian actors, all that can really hurt a lot of people's careers. For example, everyone remember where Jackie Chan and Jet Li, Lucy Liu used to be the big thing in the 90s and early 2000s, and
Yeah.
later on their careers went downhill. I mean, Jackie Chan's last theatrical Hollywood role was, what was it? I think it was with the Spy
Karate
Next
Kid?
Door. No,
Yeah, it was.
yeah, Spy Next Door and the Karate Kid, and lastly, Kung Fu Panda 3 in a very short role that he barely did anything. Hell, Lucy Liu barely had a line in the movie.
Well, I did see Jackie Chan advertise it for a movie. I forgot what. I think it was just through DirecTV.
Skip Trace with Johnny
Yeah,
Knoxville.
Knoxville. I was about to say.
Oh,
But
God.
yeah, but he's but you know what I'm saying is he is going to get a honorary Oscar, so he has deserved that, by the way. So he's
Hell
probably moving into producing. I think he is going to move into that because I think he's too old to be doing all that type of stuff. So yeah, and he's sitting pretty. So Jackie Chan's net worth is $350 million, so he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine, but my problem is that we barely hear from Jackie Chan, Jet Li, or any of the others. I mean, Jackie Chan directed this movie in 1941, but people hated it, and boom, that's it. It's gone. And that kind of worries me. What about allowing these people from different countries to go to Hollywood and let them do their own thing, let them direct stuff, let them show you their acting abilities. Bring variety to the table, which Hollywood needs right now.
Well, honestly, I think what Hollywood needs right now is stops to putting all this money into superhero movies. I mean, look how much money they put in Batman v Superman. They could have made at least 5 or 6 movies off that.
Oh yeah.
Just saying. I mean, I'm not saying you should make a Batman v Superman movie for $5 million. No. I mean, you got to spend a little money on that. But thinking I would like to see if they could try to do that. Just see if okay, we're gonna have a $5 million budget. We're gonna make Batman v Superman go. I'm like, ooh.
Well, let's see. That is also his problem because Hollywood actually makes a lot of bad decisions. But however, for next year, some of his decisions are actually quite interesting. For example, have you guys already seen the trailer for the Great Wall?
Oh yeah. In fact,
yeah.
it's directed is I think is a Chinese. I gotta look at the director.
Okay. Here's the thing: the Great Wall is an American co-production with China, because this is a collaboration between the American and Chinese film industries, with Shang Yimou directing the film.
Which to me is the most important thing. A lot of people are like, "Oh, but I'm like, no." To me, that's the big steps that a lot of people don't seem to. I mean, that to me, that's always gets me. Like, oh my God, it's a white guy. So I'm like, no, man, dude,
Yeah,
I'd rather someone to be like the producer, the writers, and the director. That to me, right there, Zing Yimou. That's like that to me is right there. You know what I mean? That to me, that's where
yeah,
the more power is.
yeah. But here's the thing: the film *The Great Wall* actually took 20 years to make. Like, it was in development hell for quite some time since John Woo actually wanted to make the film, but moved on to make Red Cliff. Shang Yimou, and for those people who don't know who Shang Yimou is, I'm hope I pronouncing that name right, is the director of films of House of Flying Daggers, Hero, Flowers of War, Curse of the Golden Flower, and over other 20 Chinese films. He was
Yeah.
approached by Universal to direct the film, but the problem is he wasn't interested because the production team wasn't, big enough. But years later, it got big. I mean, there's more talent, including Edward Swick and Max Brooks, the author of World War C, working on the story, Carlo Bernard, Doug Miro, aka the writers of Prince of Persia, and Tony Gilroy, the writer of Michael Clayton, writing the script, and Shang Yimou directing the film, while having Matt Damon play a European mercenary who's going to work with the Chinese leads. aka there are actually 4 Chinese lead characters, by the way, mind you, which is a big step up for a big budget action film to play the leads.
Mm-hmm.
And you would think it would get some praise that wow, they're actually moving forward, but nope. Whitewashing controversy because God forbid putting some positivity out there, right, people?
Yeah, and the movie looks to be something interesting. Why would they something that is completely fiction and say now they have monsters to deal with, which is cool. Then again, I wonder why they built that thing.
But here's the thing. Shen Yimou said that the film's gonna be a fantasy and it's not gonna be really a history lesson of the Great Wall. It's just gonna be a big budget action film of, defending the Great Wall from monsters. But unfortunately, everyone misread, didn't understand anything from the trailer, and instead Constance Wu, the actress from the show Fresh Off the Boat, which I didn't see yet, took to Twitter and she got angry because she got pissed that Matt Damon's playing China's white savior for the film, and basically her response was like this, and I quote, "We have to stop perpetrating the racist myth that only a white man can save the world. It's not based in actual fact. Our heroes don't look like Matt Damon. They look like Malala, Gandhi, Mandela, your big sister when she stood up for you to those bullies at one time."
Oh, sweet Christmas.
Yeah. and don't get me wrong, I understand where Constance Wu is coming from, but she misses the point that Matt Damon is not playing a role meant for a Chinese actor. He's playing a role from a European perspective, since they actually look white. And I know because I actually went to Europe, and most of them are white. So, no offense, but you might want to do a little bit of research before spitting out BS.
Yeah, I also remember that when the movie of Marie Antoinette with Kristen Dunst came out, there were a few people who were angry because none of the actors were French. It was supposed to be in France, so they should use French characters and it should be in French. I saw the movie and I thought it was okay. I honestly didn't see a problem with that, but people get so stingy when they try to adapt something or try to use people from another country to do something else.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's always going to be there. You'll have people going to be like, "Oh my God, Jake, you have to do this." I'm like, really? Why? That's the thing that people are like, man, why? Just it is. It's something like they always seem to be. They want everyone to be, and it comes from a good place. I want people to go in there to be like more like, hey, like the world is. Want people to be. Yeah, let's have black guy being lead, and let's have that. And when you look at, say, the superhero movies and such, going back to that, my worst fear is people picking too much. They look at the box office instead of the quality of it. And
Yeah.
I mean, again, people are saying, well, if it's a good movie, the box office it will be there. Yet, Two Bow and the Two Strings will have a word for you. In fact, most of the films based on the Leica films and such would have a word with you because they weren't box office smashes. In fact, they didn't make enough money and such. Just because the quality of the film doesn't mean it's going to make money and such. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And the
Yeah.
best example is the Transformer films. Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah.
And you know what? Now that we're talking about gender and diversity, why don't we talk about the second Transformers film with the two robots?
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
The
Good
two
God.
redneck robots.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two redneck robots, and if I remember correctly, and don't quote me on this, that one time when I was a little younger and I actually browsed the Rotten Tomatoes, there was a lot of hate for the stereotypical two robots, which is understandable because, for fuck's sake, they are the worst things to ever exist. And then I see some positive reviews that, wow, this is a good depiction of rednecks, and my mind was fucking blown. Like, what? Are you crazy? Like this is watching a god awful Family Guy skit where with the Mountain Dew guy. Where he goes like, Mountain Dew is the best soda I ever made. Like, no, that is not good.
Let's not forget the testicles on Devastator.
Oh yeah. I saw that as a movie when free from and funny enough, I saw that. I saw it when I was I saw this movie when for free actually. Me and my dad actually Terminator 2. Not talking about Transformers 2. It was again a very interesting. It's a big thing go boom thing, and a lot of people and again I don't really care because I wasn't in with the '80s Transformers. I was with the Beast Wars Transformers. Bad CGI and all their stories are actually pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and now that you bring in the stereotypes, a lot of people I forgot to mention that. To be fair, we actually had diversity in our films for quite a while, but the problem is people either don't notice or they just don't care. For example, I like to bring is with these two films, Borat and Bruno. Anyone watch those films?
No.
What were they again?
Borat and Bruno. You watched them?
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I actually love those two films because they actually explore the social satire between cultural indifferences, racism, the popularity of the homosexual stereotype. And it's not a film that is embracing stereotype, but it's basically looking an in-depth look at how stereotyping and racism is integrated so much to our culture that we may or may not fight for a cause that we may or may not understand. If I made any sense at all.
Yeah, sort of. I think that stereotypes, they can be very bad because some people watch it as something evil. But I think that they can be used to make something funny. And the best example I can come up with is Sacha Baron Cohen's films, Borat and The Dictator. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I love Borat. I found it pretty fucking hilarious. While The Dictator, it just didn't.
It's okay.
It took itself too seriously, and it has something. But yeah, I mean, you can take a stereotype and make something good with it if you know how to use it.
Sausage party.
Yeah, I'm not sausage.
My god.
Pay. I'm like, pay the people. That's all I gotta say about that.
Once you go taco, you may never go baco.
Yeah, but you look at again when I see the movie, when I look at all these type of diversity and such, and seeing how it is affected, and like I said, the superhero things. But my thing is though, like I is, people have the worst fear though. If these movies do well, but what if they don't do well enough? They make money, but not say, that's the thing. Like if Wonder Woman does good, does people like, oh, it doesn't do like well, disapprove like, well, it did okay. It made its money back and got profit for it, but it wasn't these, oh my God, it breaks all the records type of thing. Would that hurt? Well, or say Black Panther, which is opening in February, Black History Month, which is to me funny because hey, we have to put the big black superhero movie on that February, but who cares about that?
Oh, well, it'll probably hurt if people try to scapegoat it if it fails, like the studios.
Yeah.
Kind of like Fan 4 Stick.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, I can see, but I think what if it is? What if it was, what if it was a Marvel film? What if in a Marvel film, Black Panther, what if it doesn't make the big money or something like that? Will people say, what will be the outcry? Will it be outcry? Will it be this? Will it be that? If it makes enough money or bombs, or regardless of quality?
Well, let's see. It kind of depends. If the movie... Okay, here's a thing that I want to explore. Let's see. If Black Panther makes money because it's a good movie, just like how Dark Knight made money that it's a good movie, then... good for them. It may win more money, and who knows? It may introduce more black actors to not only expand their roles but allow newcomers to take their place. Because again, Hollywood cannot rely on using the same old celebrities over and over and over again, because it's just oversaturation at this point.
Yeah, except when it's in cameos.
Exactly. For let's see. Oh fuck. If Black Panther makes money just because there's gonna be people out there that goes, oh my God, there's a black lead in there, we must watch it, then it might gonna bring up a horrible trend of just casting black actors as this type black character A, B, C, D, E, F, G, which could be terrifying. And believe me, it happened with female roles, with AKA romantic comedy movies with female leads. Dear Lord, if I go for this, then we're gonna be like a 3-hour history with this.
You guys never saw the Saturday Night Live skit of where Black Widow got her own movie, and it turns out to be another fucking comedy, romantic comedy.
Which, funny enough, you had you had the same thing with Supergirl when the first thing came out. It was basically, if you remember the first pilot episode, which I saw at New York City Comic Con, when the ticket system was still screwed up, but I still got the tickets in, by the way. It was pretty much like The Devil Wears Prada, but yet it was with Supergirl in it. It was okay. It was good, but it's like, yeah, I can see those tropes far away, and honestly, it hinders it, not enhances it.
Yeah, and not to mention this happened with the most infamous pilot of all time, Wonder Woman.
Oh
yeah. I actually managed to sit for it, by the way, due to a challenge. So don't ask me how the hell I survived this. If you want to know how the Wonder Woman pilot is, basically this: take one of the most famous iconic DC female superheroes of all time, and turn Wonder Woman into Anita Sarkeesian.
Oh God!
Before Anita Sarkeesian was ever relevant, because it came out in 2011, while the Feminist Frequency videos came out in 2013. Basically, Wonder Woman in the pilot, she's basically a hypocritical bitch. Because here's the thing, she wears this very sexy, modern look of the 1970s Wonder Woman costume, and later on there's a scene where they're talking about merchandising the dolls, and by the way, she actually owns a company, mind you. Don't ask me why. And she gets offended at a action figure having bigger boobs that she approves, but later on she says, "Wait a minute, why does it have bigger boobs? I do not approve of this. I am very angry. and I'm gonna walk away.
I watched that. I was like, this is not only this can't be her. I
No, no,
was
no,
like,
no,
you know, this has to be someone else.
no, no, no,
This
no,
has
no,
to
no,
be
no.
someone else than this character. That's what I say.
Yeah, yeah, but no, that's nothing. And later on, just keep in mind with that scene. Later on, the scene where shit starts to go down, and she's trying to interrogate a smuggler who attacked her, and he's in the hospital, and the cop is won't let her in because it's his job. She decides to use her sex appeal, and she said, "Have you seen this outfit? It can do wonders for me." And in the back of my mind, I just said, someone was paid to write this, and someone actually gave it the green go. I won't spoil it more for those who want to see the travesty of it, but for me, the Wonder Woman 2009 pilot just goes to show you that Hollywood and these artists critics want these female lead films to be this whole strong female empowerment that
But
we're better than the man, even though you're not making a good character, you just
it's a
busting your
stand-in.
gender.
They're trying to be so hard to be what Wonder Woman. Like I watched that pilot, and quite honestly, I was like, if I don't just throw the words offended because like fine, whatever. I felt like I was really just like they did not get the character at all. I never ever seen a character to be completely stripped away of everything they had. People want to bitch about what's happening. Oh, DC does somebody. No. Man of Steel, I still enjoy Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. We'll get to that, ladies and gentlemen, next week.
Yeah, next week.
All right.
But when I get to the point when I saw what they did with Wonder Woman and I saw what they were doing, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, this can't be this character who I'm like, this is the antithesis of everything Wonder Woman would stand for and be and stand for and actually do. Because this is a character who is, at first things first, she is a warrior. Yes, she is a warrior. She is someone that is, take no, that sort of thing she was raised to. Well, take no crap.
Yeah.
But she's also very maternal, very kind, and also seeks to redeem her enemies, not just go and kill them. She will use deadly force if necessary, but for the most part, she will she'll knock them out, but she'll probably hey, this is not the right way. And try to help them. That to me is what Wonder Woman, that character is, and for the most part, we will see what the movie has. But I'm pretty much the movie version is much better than that. For the most part, the movie version is a lot better. The little snippet we got from Batman v Superman, much better than we saw and what I saw in that pilot.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's a shame that the first two movies, superhero movies, mind you, that try to have a female lead, failed horribly. And I'm talking about Elektra and Catwoman.
Oh
And
yeah.
failed
yeah.
not because of
Oh, my God.
not because the lead person was a woman, no, because of reasons altogether. And now there's sort of a stigma with it. We tried to do a superhero film with a woman as the lead, but it didn't work, so let's not try to do it again.
Yeah,
And that's the worst thing about it. Oh, someone else can say something? Oh, what about Kahuna?
Yeah, Kahuna. You haven't talked to this whole live stream.
I just try to keep a conversation, plus I'm a little jet lag from traveling, but yeah, I think the issue for writing women is just to make a well-rounded and interesting character is the biggest thing. Because I think they try to go for this strong stereotype, but a real character will have realistic strengths and realistic flaws, and then they will have agency to advance the plot forward.
Yeah, and to me, I did the review of Elektra on this channel, shameless plug, but it shows to me there was actually snippets of a good movie in there, actually. I think it was like, oh, she didn't wear no, I don't care if she wears a costume or not. I think there was good stuff there, but it was just the dialogue was terrible. Everything was, I mean, everyone else besides that stupid brat girl who was just annoying for most of the
Oh
film.
God, I know what you're talking about. That little girl, like, they refound it for 100 times, and I'm gonna complain throughout the entire movie. I actually wanted to see her die, and when the villain appeared to kill her, I think I'm one of the people that said, "Yes, finally."
Yeah, I just didn't care. I was like, this person is, and I understand they play. It's the same problem with most female characters is being stoic. So like, you can't see her being weak or they say, oh, being maternal is bad and horrible and such. No, that's like really. I mean, to me, when I look back and say, if we want to go really far back, like this is the '80s and Don Bluth, Secret of Nymph,
Oh
you look
yes.
Mrs. Brisby. She wasn't a warrior. She wasn't a badass and everything else. She was a concerned mother who wanted to protect her family. And a single mother, by the way, who, with her wits and her and being clever and being brave, in the end saved them. What's wrong with that? Of course, she had a magic stone in the end, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the magic stone actually has a purpose in the story because it represents everything that Frisbee went through. Her inner strength to move forward, despite that she's just a average living being, and her will to save those beloved to her, which was the theme of the film, while also exploring the idea that science, nature, and technology are the three important things to keep humanity and all life on Earth to move forward.
In balance.
Exactly.
And I love the SWAT, and hopefully, by the way, go see the movie, by the way, Secret of Death. It's awesome. But yeah, I love the fact that the main protagonist, antagonist and such, the whole Knight character was a supporting character. He didn't take over the film. And I shudder to think, because I hear rumors and such that the movie might be remade. In fact, let me just see if it actually is going to be. Let's see.
Which one?
Secret of Nymph.
Oh yeah, Secret Nymph's gonna get a remake reboot by Ethan Kruger, who wrote the Transformers sequels.
Oh,
Why?
I'm so sorry. Yeah, and that's true because they're actually gonna remake it, and if I'm gonna be obvious, they're gonna turn.
Oh God! It's going to be a CGI live action hybrid via like Smurfs and Alvin the Chipmunks.
Oh God!
Yes, and I can bet you $50 they're gonna turn Miss Frisbee into the strong female empowered character to cashing on Elsa and Anna from Frozen. Oh God!
No. They're actually, here it is. Like, it was going to be an origin story. This is from Wikipedia, so there's a level shot. It's an origin story. Your big grain of salt. So it says an origin story in which an imperial mouse protagonist befriends a comical crew of lab rats as they turn hyper intelligent and they escape the secret laboratory and become great minds of vermin civilization. And
what?
Yeah, they're doing Mr. Brisby's story first, which fine. I okay with they want to expand it, and they're like, we want to turn it they want it to be a franchise, because Lord knows, we want to see a reboot of that, and then we'll get to. I can't wait to have the remake version of the Secret of Nymph 2, Timmy to the Rescue, because that's going to be, that's going to be precious right there. That's going to be Oscar gold right there.
Oh yeah, let's have Gilbert Gottfried sing a musical of "Let It Go." Let it go.
Oh God!
Let it go.
I just want to be alive for the day when they make a remake of a remake.
Oh, they already did. Well, you could say Magnificent Seven is a remake.
Oh
of the
yeah,
remake.
Magnificent Seven is coming this September.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That should be a whole nother topic. All these reboots and remakes in Hollywood is just driving me crazy.
It's a shame because again, when I look at Secret of Nymph and I see it, I'm like, this could have been the blueprint right there. That's a blueprint of showing a strong female character. who wasn't a warrior and such like that. And then heck, you could have something like that. I'm not saying you could do every character like that because they're different. Black Widow is a different type of character. Captain Marvel, Wonder Woman, all these type of characters and such, that have that type of thing. I mean, there are different characters, that do have that sort of connection. I mean, I know I'm going to the pro wrestling aspect of this, so be warned. I know it's going to lose like all of my viewers now, but then again, this is a pro wrestling channel, so screw it. But anyway, you character the wrestler Bailey, who is not this like huge badass character. She can get serious, but she's just basically a lovable, huggable person, and that's what she is. And she comes in, hugs you, and that's pretty much it. And that's what her character. She's just happy to be there. She's very fun, very lively, someone that kids can look up to. And yet, when she can turn it on, she can be serious when we need to. But she's overall very fun, happy, maternal, all these type of things. She wears her emotions on her sleeve, and she's very upbeat and happy and such. And when I see that, like that's something that you can have. You can have that type of character instead of the grooming like this, like the whole like the whole type of situation that is what female protagonists have to be. This dour, stoic, the same character Kate Beckinsale is playing in Underworld, which is doing another movie, by the way.
Yeah.
It just keeps going and going. And
yeah,
you understand
for me, and for those people watching, they have to understand that the gender and skin, culture, or whatever we are is not really important, but the execution on the filmmakers. Because movies are art. We see our lives through their eyes and what we want to be, or we like to make films for escapism, to tell great tales of the future or complex mythologies of ancient Greece or Polynesia. And it's up to the filmmakers to make good stories and that can be entertaining, or we can relate to their actions, to their relationships, to their journey to complete their goals. For example, one of my favorite films is a film called Persepolis. Everyone watch that film, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, Persepolis is a animated film from 2007 based on the graphic novel by Marjane Satrapi, who was born in Iran, and both the book and the movie tells the story of her life, Marjane Satrapi, the main lead. And this film and both the book, we see her life from going from childhood to adulthood, from the Islamic Revolution, where they were forced to wear the veils, because the reason for it, if you don't wear the veil, the man will be sexually attracted to your body and hair, and thus they might be labeled as rapists. And later on, Marjane Satrapi had to go to Austria by her parents because due to an incident with the teacher, she disrespected the teacher due to some different views. And as she lives her life in Austria, she learns the value of free will, independence, and the importance of never forgetting who you are, even if the country did horrible things. And that to me is what I like about films. Like don't restrict it to there's a black character or this Asian person, not to offend people, but allow filmmakers to make what they want, and who knows, we can get some really amazing stuff. Like for example, with Cuba and the Two Strings, not only directed by Travis Knight, who is the CEO of a very successful stop motion company, but is a film that respectfully stays faithful to the Japanese mythology story of the Moon Princess, which you can say is sort of a sequel to the tale of Princess Kaguya, but I look at it as its own original story, and it pays a lot of respect to the Japanese culture, despite having a cast of white people voicing Japanese characters, even though that's not really whitewashing because when they bring anime series from Japan to US, of course they're gonna hire voice actors from America because they are making a English language film, and you have to make an English language film because otherwise, if you put it in Japanese, then
Not everyone is gonna read the dub, no, the sub.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
Never got the whole
Yeah, the
stigma
sub.
between dubs and subs. I mean, there's some bad dubs, but sometimes I don't like to read the subtitles, and sometimes the dubs, like in case of Cowboy Bebop and Wolf's Rain, are a lot better, even in the creator's opinion, than the actual Japanese dubbing.
Yeah, like our understanding of the language. If some people want to watch in English dub because they don't understand the Japanese language, let them read subtitles. Then let them. It's not gonna hurt anybody. So what's the double standard here? That we can't allow these people make films based on different cultures just because some minorities of people are just going to get offended. Don't you want to bring some knowledge from their culture to here to learn to make better films, to make more wiser decisions, expanding our creativity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah. Well, let's see.
Yeah, I'm sorry for dragging it too long.
No, that's cool. I dragged this whole thing on for too long. My ranting. So don't worry.
Yeah.
Cinemax his alarm is not going to come in.
Yeah, don't worry.
It's just stupid because they're just going to hurt creative freedom in the end, and then we're just going to have subpar crap to deal with.
I don't think so. Hollywood's really good at making products, and that's part of what movies are. When they realize that they've oversaturated the market, they'll start to move on.
Exactly, with the remakes, reboots, and sequels, because if they oversaturate the market, I don't mind reboots and sequels, but they need variety.
They
some
need a
remakes
reason
here,
to be.
some originals here. Yeah, and they need a reason to make a sequel.
They need a vision to make a sequel or a remake.
Yeah.
Or they can, instead of actually paying an ungodly amount of money to do a reboot or remake or something, look at the tons and tons of unread scripts of original IPs that are probably cheaper and actually, they have probably some gender and diversity in them.
Exactly.
See? We tied it back in.
Exactly.
Right back in.
Yeah, sorry. If
Yeah,
I remember...
I think there was going to be a fourth Spider-Man Raimi film, which was going to have Black Cat, I think.
Huh.
But don't worry, they're going to have them and Sony, Marvel and Sony is made up, and they're putting pretty much, I want to talk about gender diversity. I don't mind the Black Mary Jane. I think she's going to look, the Mary Jane is going to be interesting. But I do mind the casting choice of Flash Thompson. Did you look at the casting choice of Spider-Man? Let's see. Let's see. The cat. I'm sorry. I just when I look at him, the casting and everything else, I look at it. I'm like, dude is. I'm like Tony. Like he's what? I mean, he's like he's the dude who plays in the Grand Budapest Hotel. I'm like Tony Revolon. I'm like that dude. I'm like he's like 5'6". I'm like,
sorry.
And he was a bellhop. I'm like, bro, I see you as many things, but you ain't no football player. You ain't no big dude that knocked out Peter Parker. In fact, let me hold on. Let me
Isn't he playing the Vulture though?
No, he's playing Tony Rivoli. He's Flash Thompson. He was going
right.
And let's see, I'm gonna see how tall he is. Tom Holland. Let's see, because
right.
I'm gonna see. Let's see. I gotta see how tall that dude is, because I think he might actually be taller than him. I gotta see. He might be actually taller. And actually, let me see. Holy crap, he is. He's actually taller than Tony Rivoli. You better get some lifts.
Maybe they'll put him on a footstool for all of his scenes or something. Give him the Tom Cruise treatment.
I'm like, thinking about that. I'm like, the Jack Reacher. I'm like, dude. I'm like, no, you are not some guy. They're trying to build him up like this bad. I'm like, I like Tom Cruise. I like you. You're a great actor, but you ain't no. You can't take these big guys, like these 6 foot guys, like 3 6 foot guys, and beat them all up. Look, I am a believer of ludicrous things, but that to me right there is BS. I'm sorry, no. Especially now, Tom. And now you have Tom Holland, who's like 5'8", gonna have more muscle because he's gonna be Spider-Man. And I'm like, and I look again, look at Tony Holland. I'm like, I'm sorry, look at the images he is. I'm like, and you see him like a lot. I'm like, dude, unless you are going to go into the gym, you better be going to the gym because I'm like. Seriously, look. I mean, I don't want to be against the dude because he wasn't dope. Actually, he was actually in the movie Dope. Very good movie actually. And I
never
think,
watched it. I'm actually gonna watch it sometime. I might buy it. I might see it.
Yeah, it's actually a very good movie. You should go see it. It's something that should have been something in the Oscars. But yeah, I'm like, I want to say this. I'm like. No, he is not. He is not a bully. He ain't no bully. I'm like, unless he's the kicker and everyone makes fun of him. I mean, when I look at Flash Thompson, what the thing you see about in every type of universe, he's big, he's strong, regardless of color. He's big, strong football guy. He's someone man. He is like. Flash Thompson, is he? Was he quarterback or? Let me just.
He's a football quarterback, high school student.
Yeah, he's a
hot-headed student who thinks he's the top of the world and bullies Peter because he's big and he's tougher than him, and all the ladies love him. That's
God. He's a bad stereotype.
Yes,
Quick, we have to cast an Indian. We have to look diverse. Hurry!
Diversity goes wrong, and I'm like, seriously, and now unless they're gonna push the Agent Venom situation, which,
they probably are.
No. Yeah, I'm sorry they can't because let's see, Sony is making a Venom spin-off, and it's nothing to do with the MCU, so they're gonna cast another actor for that.
Yeah. That could change.
Yeah.
But I'm still gobsmacked by how they're gonna. I'm like, every other thing is fine. I mean, they just cast They have Shocker in the movie, and he looks decent. But I'm like, bro. I know maybe I'm being a bit of a heightist or whatever.
Oh.
A heightist.
I don't know. I'm something, but when I think of a football player, someone who is against Peter Parker. This geek, this guy who is just this little nerd guy. I don't think of him like this 5'6" quarterback. I know there are some short quarterbacks that are doing well, but no, just no.
It's just not believable.
I know. Maybe you're being too mean or being too harsh.
If Chris Evans wasn't Captain America, I could totally see him as Flash Thompson. Big, strong, kind of a bully.
Oh.
I think he'd do a good part.
Yeah, he could. And now that you bring the casting of Spider-Man Homecoming, that's actually one of the most... I don't know, I'm kind of dumbfounded at the casting for Spider-Man Homecoming, because at first, I didn't mind the casting, but suddenly when I see the news of lots and lots of black actors, including the ones from the Netflix film Birth of No Nation, getting casted in a movie, it makes me want to question: will these black actors will have roles that would allow them to be characters, or are they just gonna be background characters for the sake of hello, I'm here.
Oh yes, I'm the token black guy. Just want to hear for the diversity quota. Thank you very much. Here's your Spider-Man. There you go.
And here's the CGI Flash Thompson, played by the kid who started the brand.
You know, not in a good way, but I would pay to see a movie of Tony Revolori as Agent Venom. I want to see that.
And, yeah, I'm like, no, I'll be just laughing unless that is a comedy, which you'll play it for laughs. Which I'm like,
No, it can't work.
like I'm sorry, but like I'm like, this is gonna be really bad. Unless they could just play it off and be like, get someone bigger and tall. Like, no. He was like, that's my cousin. That was not the real Flash Thompson. Like, I'm the Flash Thompson. That was my cousin talking that big bad stuff. Recasting, that sort of thing.
They get the
No.
sword wielding guy from Indiana Jones.
Or they get Jason Momoa or something like that. Like,
Jason
I think
Momoa? Are you
like, well,
kidding me? Jason
like, well,
Momoa and Flash Thompson? Come on. He's not a teenager. He's a giant muscular brute.
well, that
Well,
is.
He
Well,
could be the jock that's stuck in college for 4 years.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
high school. I mean, hey, hey, people. I'm just saying.
Ah.
But
It
that
looks like
would
he's
have
in
been
his 40s, dude.
yeah, but let's be real. I mean, I see. I sound like we're all being me. I'm like, no, it's just
No.
when you just look at this, I'm like, this dude should not be. When I look at this, I'm like, this dude should not be Venom. He shouldn't be.
Yeah, because he just doesn't fit the character, and this is actually goes with the whole Zendaya thing being the whole black MJ. But even though, according to some of the leaked casting calls, she's not playing MJ. She's playing this character called Michelle MJ. So that means there might be two MJs in the film. The story's not really confirmed, but the question is, why make Mary Jane black? I mean, is there a purpose to the story? Will it add anything?
Well,
Doesn't add anything. It just basically says, well, it doesn't. Honestly, I just feel like it doesn't really add anything. It's just, again, when I see these characters are not adding anything, do they add? Do they do anything? Something positive? No, they don't. It just, again, you better start adding.
well, maybe since they saw that they made a good Nick Fury with a black actor, they think they can do it again. That it's that easy.
Like a repeat formula?
Yeah.
Not everybody, not all black people are Sam Jackson, all right?
No.
Yeah. No, of course not. But I think if someone sees that they can take a white character, place him with a black actor, and it goes okay, then for the sake of appeasing social justice warriors and appeasing everybody, well, let's try and do it with everything. Yeah.
Oh, that could backfire to Hollywood, and it would just shoot them in the foot.
Yeah.
That's why I don't get why they just don't make original characters that are interesting and just make
Yeah.
something off of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, heck, Harley Quinn was an original character from the Batman anime series, and look what happened to her. Boom! People love her. She's now in the DC universe now. She has the movie, cosplays, the Suicide Squad, which I enjoyed. Yeah, seriously, the woman who played her did one heck of a job. So, but yeah, I mean, why not have original characters?
Exactly. Like, if they want, to diversify more Black Asian characters, like Kahuna Drake said, and other people said in the other Patreon live streams, if I remember correctly, make original characters. Like, the obvious one in the world, Steven Universe. That show with Gems that actually explores gender inequality, relationships, homosexuality. That could work. And I freaking love that show because it actually shows good, really characters with good stories. And look where it is now. Hell, Rebecca Sugar is now famous for that show. And hell, God bless her for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're too lazy to come up with an original character, you can try and take a very hidden character and try to make him appease the rest of the audience. V for Vendetta, no one knew who V was until the movie came out.
Well, it's comic book nerds and such.
Yeah.
You could say the same thing for what was her name on Deadpool, Teenage Negasonic Warhead. She was a very obscure character. She only had like
Yeah.
one panel in the comic, but I freaking loved her in that movie. She was hilarious and badass.
Yeah, she was actually one of my favorite parts of the movie. I mean, she didn't have a lot of line, but I actually love her delivering in the expressions when stuff happens. It was just comedy gold.
Yeah, she
And
plays off of Deadpool real well.
oh yeah, really perfectly like bringing the straight man for Deadpool for his breaking the fourth walls, antics, and the comebacks. I still love the scene with the whole teenage angst thing, and she just got defeated by him. Like, okay, you win. And I love that delivery.
Yeah, and it just seems there's when I look at it, like my hope is that he can perform the job well. Playing the I just want him to do the job well, but I doubt that's going to happen. But I could be proven wrong.
Yeah, kind of like what happened with Guardians of the Galaxy. Like who the hell wants to see these aliens? And boom, everybody loved it.
Hmm.
Like I previously said a few hours ago, if you have a good team and you have a good idea, good characters, regardless of the genders and skins, then guess what? People will like it. People will follow you for it. Hell, people will give you a thumbs up and just go, hey, you did a good job. Now expand your skills and go for the stars. Despite that, there's still gonna be people that are still gonna cry out mysticism without looking any other facts, research, or effort put into the film. And the
Yeah.
best example I want to, yeah, and the best example I want to bring and hold on to your butts because this is gonna be a controversial choice of mine would be Sucker Punch.
Hmm.
Yeah, I know some of the Grimm's like, really? And yes, I do understand the film is flawed, but it's not really that bad. And I actually give, thumbs up for Snyder and four female leads on trying to make different types of female leads. Did it work all the time? No, it has flaws. But to be fair, it was much better than the same old story of the whole oh, I had to marry this guy because my life is not the same without a married person type of romantic comedy that you see, like, Trainwreck, Bridesmaids, The Ugly Truth, Bride Wars, When in Rome. You get the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else have this? I think we've talked a little more about this stuff because is there anything else we can get into this topic anymore, or we want to call it a night?
I think just make characters that are, diverse in personality and characteristics and not necessarily how they look.
Yes, agreed. Something that I think is we can all agree with that. Something bring meat to the characters. Bring a bit of why are they here instead of just saying they're here, enjoy them, but also don't shy away from talking. Well, there's going to be some muddy issues in these characters. So, be free to explore those depths. You have to be free to explore them, and to be look inward and say, hey, you can't, for every, like, oh my gosh, it's horrible. You might get something great, like say American Gangster, or like our Narcos, or anything else. Those stories about how these are interesting people. So, yeah.
Yeah, basically what we're trying to say in the live stream when it comes to gender diversity, then yes, then gender diversity is important. We have to expand, but you can't force feed it on the people because otherwise, you're just gonna look as bad as the people saying bad things about one another. And for those filmmakers, storytellers, game developers who want to make characters of colored people and all, then go ahead, do it, experiment with it, but don't do it for the sake of trends or political agendas. Do it because you want to have good characters so that people may connect to and relate to for generations, like with Star Trek, Batman, Ratchet and Clank, and hell, a lot of the other video game books and movies that we got throughout the generations. So,
Yeah.
anyone else before we end the live stream?
So just a quick note. It is good to have a wide variety of different actors to play, but people need to have in mind that there are some characters that cannot be played by certain. There are characters that cannot be played by certain actors. You can't put a tiny Hindu man as a big American jock. I mean,
Exactly.
there's got to be some realism in movies as well.
Agreed. Luke, you got anything else to add, man?
Sure. Doesn't matter if you're black or white. The only color that matters is green.
Awesome.
What?
Wow. Profound.
No.
All right.
All right.
Well, that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed this little fan stream. Let us know the comments, positive, negative responses, and believe you me, we're gonna be doing this again next week. Next week, we will be talking about. Well, we're gonna be doing a live commentary of Batman v Superman, the extended edition. So
I've got my puke bucket.
oh,
Yep.
and I'm gonna probably have to defend the movie the entire 3 hours. So
I'll
I
help you out a
have not
little.
seen it yet, so I have no idea what to expect, really.
Don't worry, Conan. You still have plenty of time. Just watch the practical cut and the extended cut. I mean, sorry, cut. the extended cut. You know, just one time. I'm so sorry. Just one time, and yeah, you'll get the difference. And in the meantime, I'm just gonna watch both the practical and extended cuts to understand the versions, and I'm just gonna do as much research as possible for the film. You know,
right.
to bring the film.
all right.
So thanks for joining, anyone.
Okay, and we'll see y'all next time. And peace, love. See y'all when you see y'all later.
All right,
All
good
right.
night, everybody.
Bye. Bye,
See you
everyone.
later.
Bye.